You know, I realize there are people out there who prefers for celebrities to just stay out of politics. Athletes, entertainers, singers, they prefer for them to keep their opinions to themselves when it comes to politics. But I'm the exact opposite, and especially this election. This election, more than ever, I'm paying attention to see who's standing up and speaking out, and I'm also paying attention to who isn't standing up and speaking out and why. And when I hear entertainers say things like, well, I don't want to alienate my fans, or I don't want to hurt my brand in any way, I can't respect that at all, because this go around, we're not having the basic political argument. You know, we're not just having the everyday political argument. We're not talking about how much should we tax the rich, or how high should the minimum wage be, or, you know, whether or not we should pay for health care or not. That's not what we're talking about this go around. This go around, if you're speaking up for human rights, and you're speaking up for basic human decency. You're speaking against cruelty. You're speaking against hatred. You're speaking against bigotry and homophobia. That's what you're speaking up against now, because never before in American history have we seen hate have the microphone like it's had thanks to Donald Trump. And he just continues to go out there and say the most over-the-top offensive things he can and continue to alienate and divide people. Right before I sat down to make this video, I saw where he actually called Kamala Harris the R word. And you want to know what my honest response to that was? Well, we're just days away from him calling her the N word. That's exactly what went through my head, because he is so unhinged and so off the rails at this point that he's going to say anything and everything he can as he's going down for the count. So when we say that we want to see more people speaking up and standing up, it's not that we want you to express your political views. We would just like to see you stand up for basic human decency, and we would like to see you stand up for our daughters and our daughters' future. And that's what Bryan Cranston does in this next clip. Bryan Cranston is one of my favorite actors, and anyone that's friends with me knows that one of my favorite shows of all time is Breaking Bad and the Better Call Saul world. I've watched both of those shows over and over. I just start them back. I can quote them with the volume down. And I'll be honest with you, I can watch shows that have Republicans or Trump supporters in it. I can still watch those shows, but it just definitely makes them hit a little bit better when you realize that the person that's bringing you this entertainment also stands for basic human rights and also is on the same side with your daughter. I absolutely love this clip here from Bryan Cranston.
I am not a politician. I am not a doctor or a lawyer, but I've played all of those on television. But I am a father of a daughter. And it's important to me, for her life now and for the future and other fathers' daughters, to be able to have within their lifetime the fundamental right of freedom of choice. There should not be anyone but them deciding what happens to their own bodies. And that's why I'm enthusiastically supporting Vice President Harris and Governor Walz.
So folks, I have a daughter, and she had my grandson back in 2021 before Roe versus Wade got overturned. If she decides to have another child, she won't have the same rights that she had when she gave birth the first time, and she won't have the rights that my mother had when she had me. And that's why I cannot hold a straight face and look my daughter in the eye and vote for Donald Trump, and I don't see how any man could. Because those are basic fundamental rights that my daughter should have. She should be allowed to make the choices for her and her family and her body, and it shouldn't, my opinion shouldn't weigh in on it. No one's opinion should weigh in on it. That should be between her and her doctor, and she should have the final say on that. It's as simple as that to me. And to the people that wants to make the argument about, well, they kicked it back to the states, it should not be up to the states. It should be up to the individual woman. That's who should make the decision. Because what you're saying is, oh, in these states, in these more conservative states, these people should be allowed to get together and vote on what the laws are and what not, and then everyone else should have to abide by that. I don't care what your personal beliefs are on abortion. I don't care where you stand on whether you believe in God or not. I don't care whether you believe in heaven or hell or not. I don't care how you want to twist the King James Bible to your benefit. Your interpretation of it should never have a say over what my daughter does with her body. Your religious beliefs should never dictate what my daughter, the decision my daughter makes between her and her doctor. It should never factor in. So when they say, well, they just kicked it back to the states, no, it should not be up to the states. It should be up to our daughters. It should be up to the women to make that choice on their own, and no one else and their personal opinions should have a voice or a say or a vote anywhere in it. And to me, it's that simple. And to the entertainers and singers and athletes out there that says, well, I don't want to make nobody mad. I don't want to stand up for these things because I just don't want to alienate my crowd. I can't respect that. I just can't. Especially if you're sitting there thinking, man, you know, this guy has absolutely took my daughter's rights away, but I better not say nothing because I want to sell a t-shirt. I better not say nothing because I got a new single coming out. I don't know how anyone could do that and look their daughter straight in the face, because I know for a fact that I couldn't look at mine if I voted for Donald Trump in this madness. And that's what it is, folks. It's absolute madness that this guy has unleashed on our country. And he has people who is so full of hatred and so full of cruelty that they'll sit back and laugh at him, calling people names. They'll sit back and laugh at all the things he says he's going to do. None of the things he says he's going to do is a deal breaker. They would not care to see people like me and you led away in cuffs. They wouldn't give a shit because they feel like that we're the devil and we're out to get them. Meanwhile, there's going to come the day when they're standing next to their daughter's bed and she's going to be bleeding out and she's not going to be able to get the help she needs. And I wonder then if reality will sink in. Hey, wait a minute. So this is what we said they kicked it back to the states. So this is the consequences of that. Oh, I didn't get that. And, you know, I don't mean to be heartless, but it's like if you was to see a redneck Trump supporter on Facebook crying about how his daughter couldn't get help, I mean, it would be very hard to not chime in and go, well, guess you need to move to a more liberal city, buddy. Again, I can't believe that we're here in 2024, but this is what happens when you turn over the reins of power to an unhinged maniac that doesn't know anything about the system or how it works and has to have full immunity in order to be able to do his job. This is what you get. This is exactly what you get. This is the boat you end up in. But to any man out there watching this video that's going to cast his vote for Donald Trump and you have a daughter, I couldn't look myself in the mirror if I was you, and I have no respect for you whatsoever. So just know that. Please know that I'm dead serious too when I say these things in my videos. I'm not saying these things for clicks. If you support Donald Trump and you have a daughter and you're supporting him and you telling her it ain't that big a deal, don't worry about it now, I have zero respect for you. Not a lick. Don't want to share a beer with you, don't want to sit down with you, don't want to sing you a song, nothing. I'm dead serious. Because that is not anything that deserves respect or a tip of a hat or anything else. Again, I can't believe that people are this blind. But I'm glad that there's people like Bryan Cranston who will stand up and at least be counted on the right side of history.